Hello, welcome to another weekly video. Last week I talked a little bit about ending relationships. Is it wrong? Is it right? I think a lot of people battle if they should end a relationship, especially if it's family or a marriage or things like that. Long-term relationships are really hard to end. Um, so I guess based on the video last week, I guess we kind of established that it's okay to end um, relationships. Excuse me. It's okay to end some relationships. You know, um, it's always hard to go into that because it really does depend on the relationship, and um, you'd probably have to give me every single circumstance and detail about the relationship you're in for me to really answer that question. But I'm just going to go ahead and say sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. Um, you know, um, I really think it gets tricky when it gets into marriages and divorce. It really you really have to know everything about the situation to really speak on if it's okay to end a marriage. Um, it's never black and white with that kind of thing. So so I'm just going to go kind of on the idea that it's okay to end some relationships. Um, this time, I kind of wanted to talk about when it's okay to end a relationship. Um, and again, I'll try to uh, only focus on certain types of relationships. Um, friendships I think are a little easier when it comes to deciding to end it. In my opinion, they are just because um, you don't really get invested the same way you do with the marriage. But so I'll try to focus on relationships where you're not living with the person. Um, you can still get deeply invested in those type of relationships. I've had friendships that lasted for years, and I didn't live with them. Some of them started by you know, uh, like a working friendship or going to school, friendships like that. And it really doesn't matter how it started. Um, it could still be really difficult to decide when to end it or if you should end it. So I was just going to talk about some of the things that maybe may make sense to end the relationship if it's happening. I've heard a lot of people talk about how they've been friends with this person for years, and um, I mean, typically the dynamic is not the same as when they first became friends. And and I've had that happen to me many times. Dynamics tend to change, but I try to use something more simple, like um, yeah, like over a period of years, talking to a friend, for example. Um, Things may change with just whatever the person's going through. I mean, who can know? I've had relationships where um, like I would talk to my friend on the phone a lot and things like that. But then as time went on, things happened that some things happened like in person that I think we were both hurt by, but didn't know how to talk about. Um, so things just started to change in the relationship. And again, it's over a period of many years. You know, it's hard to really go into every detail of what happened, um, but the relationship starts to feel kind of one-sided. I don't know if you may have felt that before. That's an example of when you may need to reevaluate, should you be in this relationship or not. Um, unfortunately, really dating, this is kind of true too. I've had to end a lot of relationships just because um, things start to, the dynamic seems to change. Like for example, when you're talking to somebody, I guess it could be the phone, but specifically for me, I would notice when I was texting with somebody, um, they would they may go a few days without responding, and then they'll say, excuse me, sorry, they'll say, you know, they just got busy and didn't have time to come back and respond to my message, check my message, and get back to me. That's happened to me a lot. Um, but one thing I've figured out in life is, like, um, if you want to talk to somebody, you'll find the time. If you really enjoy talking to somebody, if you're I guess you don't have to enjoy it. If you respect the person, you'll find the time. Now, I mean, there's still the aspect of trying to, you know, kind of figure out how you both want the relationship to look. I mean, that's usually not something that you'll talk about probably with your friends or something. I mean, you're not going to sit down and be like, well, look, I want the friendship to look like this. I mean, it's not usually like that, but you'll find you may feel a certain way if the person doesn't respond to you for a few days, or you may find that something that they're doing is starting to annoy you. Um, you kind of have to. I guess that's why they're kind of called boundaries. You kind of have to set boundaries of like what you want in the relationship. You still kind of have to try to talk about it, hopefully before blowing up or anything like that. And of course, there are better ways to handle it. And I saw a girl one time talking about how she had been friends with this girl for years, and when she got pregnant, um, she I think that her friend asked her when her due date was, and she told the friend, and but the friend, I guess, kept forgetting or something, and continued to ask over and over and over. And unfortunately, I've ran into stuff like that before too. But um, the girl that was talking about being irritated by it, she was like, well, you know, um, I've been friends with this girl for years. I think I'm just pregnant and irritated. You know, um, can somebody help me not be so irritated by it? But that kind of thing, it's okay to be irritated by. Um, that's why I'm kind of trying to talk about when you need to cut a relationship off. um, there'll be signs like that. I'm not saying that by itself is a reason to cut a friendship off, um, but you'll run into things like that, where the friend is crossing boundaries. Maybe you're the one crossing boundaries, um, but I'm mostly looking at it like from your perspective. Um, if 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 the if the friend is crossing your boundaries, that means that you have to take steps to talk to the person to make sure it doesn't happen again. Now, if you take those steps and the person does not, um, I want to say change, do better with their actions. And again, this isn't black and white, because um, a lot of people can't change overnight. You have to have patience too when you approach a person and talk to them about it. Um, just going with the example that I shared, I told the girl, that was talking about how irritated she was about her friend continuing to ask about the due date. I told her, you know, there's nothing wrong with just being honest and saying, well, sometimes I get a little annoyed with repeating things. Do you mind putting the due date on your calendar or setting a reminder for yourself? Typically, it's not that simple. I don't want to make it sound simple, but I told her that as a suggestion. And again, I am trying to make it simple just because I can't possibly know all the everyone's situation out there, um, but just for example, if the girl were to approach the girl and say, can you please put this on your calendar? The girl may not necessarily be able to learn to do that right away, but I think you have to figure out what you can tolerate. I mean, if it's already at a point where you don't want to give the person time to learn, you may have to start considering stepping back from the relationship, um, and trying to reevaluate if there are other problems in the relationship. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off there. I think I'll try to do a part 3 for this. But anyway, I thank you for watching and have a nice day.